Something dangerous just happened in the silver market, and they are praying you never find out. The silence is deafening, and it's deliberate. The mainstream declared silver dead. They insisted gold was the only safe haven worth owning. They mocked stackers and dismissed physical metal as a dying man's fantasy. But look at your screen right now. Silver just shattered every prediction the so-called experts made. The paper price collapsed, yet physical premiums exploded higher. Dealers across America are scrambling, with delivery delays stretching into weeks. The COMEX registered inventory just crashed to levels not witnessed in 20 years. This is not random market noise. This is a signal. Somebody knows what's coming. Powerful players are positioning while you sleep, and they'll do anything to keep you blind until the trap snaps shut. Welcome back to Money Mind Hub Pro. Today, I'm exposing the secret game that has already begun in silver. What you're about to see will burn every comfortable lie to the ground. Let me drag their secrets into the light. 72 hours ago, a document surfaced that mainstream media buried faster than you can blink. This is official data they hoped you would never read, coming directly from the COMEX warehouse reports, verified by the CME group themselves. Let me show you exactly what they tried to hide. The registered silver inventory, the actual physical metal available for delivery, collapsed by 14% in just 7 days. Barely 31 million ounces remain in registered vaults. Meanwhile, paper claims against that silver exceed 400 million ounces. Read that again. 400 million ounces of paper promises, 31 million ounces of real metal. Do you understand what this means? For every single ounce of deliverable silver, there are nearly 13 claims. 13 people believe they own the same ounce of metal. 12 of them are going to be very disappointed when they try to collect. Now watch the criminals reveal themselves. Look at which institutions hold the largest short positions. It's the same banks that received billions in bailouts, the same institutions that paid billions in manipulation fines. JP Morgan, HSBC, the usual suspects. They are crushing the paper price while quietly draining every physical ounce through the back door. But this is only the surface. When you see what's happening to the actual supply, your blood will run cold. To understand why this matters, you need to see the full battlefield. Silver is not just another shiny metal. It's the most critical industrial metal of the 21st century. Every solar panel demands silver. Every electric vehicle consumes silver. Every smartphone, every missile system, every medical device depends on silver. In 2025 alone, industrial demand devoured over 700 million ounces. Mining production squeezed out only 820 million ounces. Investment demand, jewelry, and silverware consumed another 350 million ounces. Do the math. Demand exceeded supply by over 230 million ounces last year alone. This bleeding has continued for 4 consecutive years. Here's what nobody is telling you. The above-ground stockpiles that covered previous deficits are evaporating. London vaults have been drained. COMEX inventories are collapsing. The silver that once sat in ETF vaults is quietly disappearing into private hands in Shanghai, Mumbai, and Singapore. The East is accumulating. China imported more silver in January 2026 than in any single month in recorded history. India's silver imports exploded to double last year's pace. These nations understand something the West has forgotten. When paper systems fail, only physical metal survives. Meanwhile, Western investors are being herded into worthless paper ETFs. They're being told falling prices prove silver is garbage. They're being told to trust the system. The divide could not be more terrifying. Eastern central banks are hoarding. Western banks are suppressing. Eastern citizens are stacking. Western citizens are sleeping. The last time we saw inventory levels this low while industrial demand surged this high was never. There is no historical comparison. We have entered territory no investor has ever seen. And yet the mainstream remains silent, almost as if the silence itself is part of the plan. Because the story gets much darker when you realize this is not incompetence. This is strategy. Let me be absolutely clear about what you're witnessing. This is not a free market. This is a managed demolition designed to transfer wealth from those who trust paper to those who hold physical reality. Watch the pattern. Every time silver builds momentum, a massive wave of paper contracts floods the COMEX at precisely 3 a.m. New York time. Millions of ounces sold in minutes. Not by investors taking profits, by algorithms programmed to trigger stop losses and create fear. They call it price discovery. The correct word is manipulation. JP Morgan has paid over $900 million in fines for precious metals spoofing. Did anything change? The same traders who paid those fines are still placing those trades. The fines are simply a cost of doing business. But here's what they didn't plan for. Physical demand is overwhelming their paper games. You can't deliver paper to a solar panel factory. You can't wire paper silver into an electric vehicle. You can't hand paper to an Indian bride on her wedding day. The manipulation works until it doesn't, and every single week, more physical metal leaves the system than enters it. The smart money already sees this. Billionaire investors who mocked silver 5 years ago are quietly accumulating. Mining executives are refusing to hedge future production at these prices. Central banks in the East are adding silver reserves for the first time in decades. They want you to panic. They want you to sell. They need your physical metal to cover their paper promises. Don't give it to them. So the question becomes simple. What do you do with this knowledge? Here is what the smart money is doing. And here is what separates those who thrive from those who lose everything. First, accept that consistent accumulation crushes market timing. Nobody can predict the exact bottom of a manipulated market. Stop trying. Stack relentlessly instead, every month, every paycheck. Turn fiat currency into real money before the window closes. Second, prioritize physical metal over paper promises. Yes, premiums are painful right now. Pay them anyway. The premium is the cost of actual ownership. An ETF share is a claim on metal you will never touch, held in vaults controlled by the same bank suppressing the price. Third, track the COMEX registered inventory like your wealth depends on it. When it drops below 25 million ounces, we enter the danger zone where a single large delivery demand could break the system. We are dangerously close already. Fourth, ignore the daily price noise. The paper price is a distraction. Focus on ounces, not dollars. Every ounce you hold is an ounce they cannot use to cover their shorts. Fifth, brace for violent volatility. When manipulators are desperate, they become aggressive. Sharp drops are opportunities, not reasons to panic. Those drops are designed to shake you out. Don't let them. The window to accumulate at these suppressed prices is closing. Industrial demand is exploding. Mine supply is choking. Above-ground inventory is vanishing. You have information that 99% of investors will not receive until it's reflected in the price. Use it wisely. Brand this truth into your mind forever. If you've been stacking silver while the world laughed, understand something important today. You weren't wrong. You were early. There is a profound difference. The same voices that mocked gold at $300 per ounce are the voices mocking silver today. The same institutions that said real estate never falls in 2007 are the institutions telling you to trust paper promises in 2026. You saw through the lies. You understood that real wealth requires real assets. You chose the narrow path while the crowd chased paper illusions. The secret game has begun. The players are positioned. The board is set. Millions will wake up one morning to discover that the silver they thought they owned exists only as digits on a screen controlled by people who do not have their interests at heart. But not you. You hold reality in your hands. Hold the line. Stack consistently. Trust what you know. The truth cannot be hidden forever, and when it finally emerges, you will be standing on the right side of history. This is Money Mind Hub Pro. Share this with someone who is still asleep. Subscribe before they try to silence what comes next. The game has begun. Make sure you're playing to win.
Quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Now let's dive in.